we have made it to the mountaintop. World Champs 2026. 53 years of hell. We finally have risen to the top. Champions of the NBA. Not since 1973 can the New York Knicks say that. My gosh, it's like we have finally gotten to the promised land thanks to Jalen Brunson, our Messiah, who has basically taken this team on his back in the second half of Game 5, where the first half of Game 5 was we were in hell. It looked like it was going to be hell. I thought I was in hell. I had to actually go outside of the house to just I had to decompress from the hell. But anyway, we are champs 2026. How you doing, guys? We got Willie Katz. We got Moses on the board, and we got a special guest, Eric the Fred.
The Fred's here tonight.
He was a New York Knicks employee, Madison Square Garden employee. Is that correct, Fred? Fred, how you doing?
All right. Thanks for inviting me. I'm looking forward to talking a little Knicks with you guys. It's been a while since my Knicks won a title. As you said, 53 years.
little bit, little time. Do you remember that team? You remember the 73 team? Obviously.
I was about 10 years old, and back then, Mo and I lived in a tiny town. We didn't even get cable TV, so I listened to the games on the radio.
Oh yeah,
believe Marv Albert.
Listen, we lived
Marv
in a tiny
Albert
town,
and John Andrew.
Yep.
And so I had a scorebook. I would actually score the games, believe it or not.
Wow.
But here's the
Nice.
thing. I don't have a good recollection of the finals at all or the championship, so I don't count that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my 4 Giants, I got my Syracuse, I got my Red Sox, a few of those.
Right.
But I don't. This was the one that was missing. So I couldn't count that one because I don't remember the experience, the euphoria. I don't even remember watching the game, but I've been hearing on the radio that these games were tape delayed. They were blacked out in New York, and they would show them at midnight.
They were on Channel 9.
You know,
if you were lucky. I remember what I was telling Mo. The couple of things that I remember about the 73 team is I was playing Little League, and the dads come to the game with the transistor radios. And they'd be like, yeah, Bill Bradley, yeah. You know, they'd say something like, way to go, Bruce DeBuscher. And then you'd hear them. And then if you went home, you'd watch on the news and see what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Now, like we were saying that the games were all blacked out. And once in a while, they'd be on Channel 9. And if it was the game of the week on Channel 7, that was really the only time you get to watch the games. So, but I remember before the season started, 1972, the Knicks got Earl Monroe, which to me,
The Pearl.
yeah,
The original Pearl.
the original Pearl, and to me it was like you're gonna tell me we have Clyde and we have Earl the Pearl in the same backcourt? I said it's over. It's over. We're gonna win.
Green.
And
So who rounded out? So there was Willis, there was
Willis.
DeBuscher, Bradley, Earl, and Clyde.
Yep, and
That
Dick
was-
Barnett.
that was-
Dick Barnett was still on the team, but he was
Yeah.
at the end of his career,
Well-
and he stayed on the team and came off the bench. And
Yeah, and was Jackson on that team? Phil Jackson was on the
Yes.
team. Yeah,
Yes.
they had a couple big time role players there.
Phil Jackson,
Well, if you
Jerry
remember, the
Lucas.
one thing that really stands out is they showed that Willis Reed clip. Like, I remember being a kid, they showed that like 100 times. That was the only, him coming out of the locker room. That was like epic.
They were
So,
gods.
yeah.
They were gods, those guys.
Yeah.
Willis and Clyde.
I told you I used to drink with the Busher downtown.
Yeah,
He hung
you
out
said
at a
that.
bar downtown
Yeah.
all the time.
Yep.
Dave DeBuscher,
Really?
what a great guy.
Yeah, great guy, dude.
Also
Great guy.
played for the Chicago
Stories.
White Sox. Played baseball, professional baseball. So.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
Did
two-way
he?
player.
Yeah.
Two-way
He
player,
was
yeah.
before Dion.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Now, one interesting note about that 73 team, Earl Monroe was not the only acquisition to that team that they did not have in 70. Jerry Lucas,
That's
center,
yes.
and
Yep.
He had a key role in the finals. Willis was banged up in 73. So Lucas was huge that year. So that was a big acquisition to pick up those two guys, you know?
Yeah, Lucas had that funky shot. Remember, he had that kind of funky shot from down here. And
that's right.
And they didn't have the three-point play.
Not three-pointers, that's right.
And Lucas would have been the man from 3 points. He would have been.
They called it the Lucas layup because he would just bomb away.
Yeah, he just bomb away. But Luke, that's a good point there, the Fred. He was a big part of that 73 team, too. He was huge for them. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's like the Knicks lore. And it just, from that point on, every year I just hope for another one. And as we grew up and as we got older, we were just like, oh, maybe this year. And then up until basically Patrick Ewing, well, I should say Bernard King was huge. And then
college, I remember Bernard King.
Yeah, Bernard King was, and then he blew out his knee. And it was like, no matter what, we couldn't get a break. And it was one of those things where, it just from years and years. And listen, we sound like a bunch of old farts because we are all old farts. And we do go back to 1973. But this team is like, reminds me of the 98 Yankees. You got to love every single person on the team, all the way down to the bench guys, all the way down to the towel boys, all the way down to all the assistant coaches. I mean, it's just, to me, it just and they have a leader. And I remember Clyde saying this, that Brunson reminded him of Willis Reed. And I'm like, really? Like it didn't. And then he's like, he's a leader, he's the captain, and he acts the way Willis Reed acted.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he said.
Wow.
He said that. Simple as that. And he used that 73 team and this team to, kind of say this is a very similar type team where and listen, it didn't happen, during the beginning of the season was like, I don't know. They don't look so great. And then they finally came around, and then Cats started, coming around. And then the first two losses against the Hawks, everybody's flipping out. You know what I mean? And, they're 1 and 2. Get rid of everybody. Go. You can check my text, Willie. I know you got my text that said, get rid of everybody. Get rid of the whole team. They suck. It's on there. And then
you've been on and off the ledge about 8 times. This is just the postseason.
Yeah.
But hold on, we got it. Let's get a little hydrated. I'm a little dehydrated right now. Get hydrated,
everybody. Get hydrated with Hydro 5. Hydro 5 is This episode is brought to you by Hydro 5, the world's first hydrogen-infused electrolyte, which helps the body combat inflammation and support cellular health for people of all ages. In the way traditional electrolyte drinks do not. Beyond hydration, Hydro 5 is designed to support sustained energy and enhance performance, faster recovery, and overall daily wellness. Benefits we believe are a great fit for people of all ages. Use code OTC15.
And because we have our special guest, the Fred, he'll be getting not only some free Hydrofy, and it does wonders. You married? You got a girlfriend? What's
married,
your story, Fred?
Yeah, married 27 years.
Okay, well, the Hydrofy is gonna change your marriage overnight. And Hydrofy's been nice enough to sponsor us on some T-shirts. Make sure we get the Fred one of those too. Absolutely. Right, Moses?
Will do.
Don't go cheap. We got a big sponsor. We got money in the coffers from the sponsor.
So we're going to
good to
us. What do you think about this team, Fred? What do you like about this team? I know it's not much not to like, but what are your takeaways with this team?
So you talking to me or Willie?
You, Fred.
Oh, you,
Fred.
the special guest. Don't ask me shit, Fred. Just so you know, I just jump in.
What I like about this team is this unselfish teamwork. I've been following the Knicks, my whole life. I don't remember a team like this, because I know the early 70s were like that, but I don't remember that team, and I never got to see them on TV anyway. So, but to see the unselfishness, I love those possessions when they start. It didn't happen as much in this round because, the Spurs play great D, but some of the earlier rounds, they would flip the ball around the perimeter. There'd be 3-4 passes, and it was unbelievable, the unselfishness. Remember that game against I think it was Philly, that it was the closeout game when Deuce McBride couldn't miss in the first half.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Brunson coming down. He had a wide open three. Any other day, he's taking that dude wide open. But because Deuce was so incredibly hot, he just passed it into the corner to Deuce.
Yeah, he kicked it to him. I remember that because he was so bad in the finals, McBride.
I mean, I don't know what happened to McBride. I don't think Deuce hit 1-3 in the finals. I know we're going off on a tangent here, but how does that happen?
It just happened, I guess. I mean, thank God they didn't need him. Although, he did give guys blow. He came in and, and subbed and came in and out. But I swear to God, when Cat fouled out, I'm like, oh, man, now we're screwed. And Brunson just goes, no, here I come to save the day. And he literally puts on his freaking tape and just –
Here's an interesting fact about
45 effing points. 45 points.
Eric, you may not know this.
What's that?
About Brunson. He grew up in went to elementary school in Syracuse, New York.
I just read that today that his dad, Rick, was a Syracuse resident.
Yes.
I never knew that till like
it
might have been yesterday. I read everything I can.
Like 3 or 4 years, and he went to elementary school in North.
Yeah, then he got smart and moved the fuck out. Yeah, we know. All right, hold on. So let me add my little.
Go ahead, Willie. Let's go.
So I agree with the Fred. I always agree with Cap. But the thing about the Knicks, the unselfish play, all that definitely. But collectively, I think the big differentiator is how hard every player played on the team. We talked about this last time. They were down by 29. You'd think, by the way, when they were down 29, they were up by 10. They played hard the whole game. And it was a situation where it was man meets boy. It was a mature team that knew they had to win this. It was on the line versus a team of boys. And again, there's a lot of things you can say. I think the Spurs are uber talented. I think the coach did a really piss poor job. Really. I mean, what is that guy? He looks like a combination of Jeremy Lin and Elon Musk. I'm like, what is that guy's background? I don't know who the fuck it was with the little fro. But anyway, he did. Guard, yeah, they got to. But dude, they're up by 29. And every time they got up, their guards were penetrating. 2 big guards, unstoppable. And he just they abandoned it. I mean, those 2 guards. Well, Harper felt like I didn't think anyone could stop him, and all of a sudden he disappears, and they change up. So I think it's a little on the coach, it's a little on youth, but again, to the Fred's point, that team just played with they were unselfish, and they played hard from whistle to whistle, and that was the big difference in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they never ever say, you know what, we'll get them next game. That doesn't even enter any of their minds. It's amazing. They could have easily lost that 29-point game.
I know.
They could have said, screw it. Or even in San Antonio, that first half was so bad. They could have said, you know what? Let's win game 6. Let's fold up the tent and let's win game 6.
And I'd love to know the Fred's opinion on this, right? Listen, I don't believe in this conspiracy shit, but I think the NBA. I think they wanted this to go 6 or 7, right? I think they. The thing is, and no matter what you say, dude, just the money behind it, what it meant for the economics of the cities, everything, right? But the thing about it was, the Knicks were smart enough to know if they let this Spurs team back in. Like, the Knicks weren't having any part of it. They were like, call fouls on us, call shit that, everything was against them. And even, like, you talk about the score, how the Spurs were playing. The Knicks, they were incredible that they knew they were veteran enough to know they needed to win that game. Because they don't lose that game, this series gets funky. you know? And
no
so
question.
Fred, what do you think about that? Do you think the NBA, believes, that is pushing for this to go? Is the NBA working with them? I know they're not. It's a not across the board conspiracy, but I believe the powers to be wanted to push this for 7 games. In my opinion.
I'm glad you brought that up, Willie, because I'm on various text threads with my Nick buddies down here in New York, and there's one guy in particular we text a lot, and we were complaining about the refs in game 1, and then in game 2 it got worse, and then in game 3 it got worse. The refs were so atrocious that we were absolutely convinced they just wanted to extend the series. If it goes 4, they're losing a lot. NBA's losing a lot of money. Without
well,
question,
the refs themselves get
wanted,
paid $50K a game. $50K a game. So they lost 150 just by not, it going in 4. They want it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's interesting that,
I mean,
that's universal.
I think the NBA wanted a long series because like Wemby now, after watching him for a whole series, I can't believe what a dirty player he is. I mean, I thought Embiid was a dirty player.
I'm down on him.
He makes Embiid look like a choir boy.
Oh,
that's how bad Wemby is.
Good point.
I mean, Wemby. So, despite the fact he had the 4, what they call flagrant points, he could have easily had 3 or 4 more flagrant points.
He pounded Alvarado with the elbow. That guy's
Alvarado, and don't forget, not only that, in one of the early games, he slammed Brunson in the face and pushed him down in the face.
Right,
that should have definitely been a flagrant. And then I saw a video on X a couple days ago. On one of the, I forget if it was game 3. It might have been 4. He tried to take out OG's ACL. There's a good video of him taking his foot and just. I think he kind of missed it, but he was going after his knee.
Let me tell you,
he's an out and out dirty player. He is filthy dirty. He is, and it's not even tough because everyone was throwing bodies around, but that guy was doing shit that could hurt players.
If that video,
I mean, and we even the neutral fans, like I'm sure you guys listen to the Fan now and then. Evan Roberts, who hates the Knicks, he's a big Nets fan, but he even says he's an incredibly dirty player. This is a guy that hates the Knicks. So you're getting it from neutral bystanders. You know what I'm saying? It's not just us Knicks fans saying this.
I'll tell you, that play that you're talking about where he went over to OG and almost basically knocked it, stepped into his knee and tried to, blow out his Achilles or whatever he would want it to try. I'm telling you, man, that to me gave me pause. And I was like, wait a minute. It's one thing, you're elbowing guys and you're doing it. When you try to injure somebody, that is now all bets are off. If I was OG, now OG's probably a very mild-mannered guy, but man, oh man, if I would have saw that and if that happened to me, I would have lost my shit. I would have pounded his head in. And that the thing is, I don't know if it did look legitimately like that's what he was doing. And that's what and if that's the case, this dude, you got to keep an eye on this guy because if something happens, he's going to get pounded. He weighs about 150 pounds. He's 7'10", 150 pounds. Did you see? I mean, next to Robinson could snap him in half, and Robinson's a stick figure. So I mean, I don't know if he's that dirty. I'm hoping that wasn't the case. But man, that video was pretty telling.
Oh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And listen, the NBA is not gonna regulate that because he's such a superstar. He's the next latest and greatest. But the players are not gonna allow that to happen.
Well, that's
they'll retaliate because these guys listen. Some of these players, man. Some of these guys are thugs, man, and they're tough guys from the street, and they're not going to allow shit like that to go down. And I think you're going to see, I think the whole world, because he was like, even though he was a superstar, right? How many eyes were on him in the final? Everybody saw that. You never heard about that guy prior to the series of being a dirty player. You never heard it. You heard everything great. He's this, he's that, the three. He rebounds, he's that. But now the take on this guy is he's a dirty ass player, and he is. Yeah. And you're right. You're right.
I'm down on him big time. I mean, I wasn't so down on him, before the series started, and I was kind of like, okay, he seems like he's going to be a superstar and all this and that. And then as the season unfolded, and even after the games, dude, you just got your butt kicked, and you gave up a 29-point lead. You gave up a 20-point lead. You did shit in the fourth quarter, and that's what you say, oh, well, we're better than them. And there's a bullshit, man. Get your ass back into the gym and figure it out. That's what you should have said. That we lost. We got beat, and we blew it. That's what you should say. But whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever they're doing, he's going to France, and he's going to draw pictures of statues and walk around barefooted. Whatever. We'll see. We don't have to see him all year round, too. So he's out in the West. Let's keep him in the Western Conference because he's a freak of nature. We'll deal with the Detroit.
He's a talent, but he's not a Brunson, right? Brunson summons in the gym, never recruited, under 6 foot. Guy stays out of the limelight. The guy's a grinder. He's got a chip on his shoulder. That he is from a role model.
Yeah,
the guy's married to his college girlfriend.
High school.
The guy's hi. Yeah, I mean, the guy's a complete role model. He doesn't go out. They talked about. He goes, what I was doing every summer? I was taking 4,000 shots a day in the gym.
Yeah,
that is the difference. There's talent. You got
always.
I mean,
it's the right thing. It's never about me. He never says me. Yeah. He says the team.
He's awesome.
Team
he's
first,
awesome.
Win team. Win team. Never me. Me doesn't even exist.
And he's the character. Everybody else fell into line. Everyone is like a little bit like, vanilla ice cream, right?
So
with him at the helm, collectively, they're a team.
And I'll tell you, I give Cat credit for a lot of things, but he realized it at some point. He realized, he said, "Yeah, Brunson's the guy. I'm part of the team." Now, but Brunson doesn't say I'm the guy, and doesn't even have that aura where he says
doesn't need to,
but he does it by his actions, and that the team follows him. And Cat finally realized that he doesn't have to be remember beginning of the season, he's like, I don't know my role, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I know.
Now he knows what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. So I got another question for the Fred. Being a Knick insider, what about the pivot on Dolan? Dolan was like some piece of shit 3 weeks ago, and now he's like iconic. They're playing his speech. He gave the speech right before the season ended. That guy's into so much shit, and now all of a sudden, he's the man. But I'd be interested in your take on Dolan.
Yeah, so he's behaved himself like the last 10 years.
Behaved himself.
He changed his approach. He's hands off now.
Yeah.
So the president he hired, Leon Rose, is obviously spectacular.
Yeah,
I mean,
stud.
It all started, with the Hart, the Hart trade. They got Hart for basically nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they got OG, for who was it? Quickly and RJ Barrett. Then he got Cat for that was another steal. So that's 3 steals in a row.
Yeah.
And then the one trade that was a little controversial at the time was giving up the 5 first-round picks for Bridges.
Right.
Now Bridges shut everyone up during the postseason because he had a couple of great games in a row there.
Yeah, there was a couple of games he carried him for parts of the game. You're right. He got hot. Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Willie, Dolan, he's fine. No one has anything against him anymore. And now I guess you could say I'm a little biased, but I actually work for MSG, so he's technically my boss. So.
Yeah, that's okay.
He is your boss.
But
he signs your checks.
I do security for them.
I work for my wife. I love you, honey.
Brewski, right? Brewski's wife.
But I would have said the same thing. It's all because Dolan's been hands off.
Yeah.
He lets Leon Rose run the show. That's the whole key.
The basketball part of it was key. And he sticks his nose in there And like he gave that speech, and that's all good. But basketball operations, he's letting a basketball guy run the show, and I would agree with you. That was the key move. Maybe maybe Woody Johnson can follow suit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go.
Fucker.
I'm going to say one thing about Dolan, though. The Rangers, I don't know what the hell happened to the Rangers, because the Hurricanes finally won a Stanley Cup. It's in 2005 or whatever it was, 2006. And the Rangers were better than them. The Rangers had a better team, and all of a sudden it blew up. I don't know what the hell happened now. Dolan can't be blamed for that, but he was hands off, and the Rangers look like they're on their way, and now they're gone. But anyway, that's my take on the.
He's a Long Island guy. He don't know what he's doing. But he's got that night. See, you don't see being an Italian guy, Cap. You don't got to worry about spray tans and shit. But I got to tell you, that was some beautiful spray tan Dolan had. I'm thinking I'm all pasty white, with my half Irish skin. I got to call that guy up. But the Fred, any idea where he gets his spray tan? Is that Midtown somewhere near the Garden?
Yeah, I guess You
may want to join me, my man.
Listen,
good stuff.
There's probably a lot of places around there.
Yeah.
Brumali should know because his wife works for him.
Yeah,
no, but the Italians don't get that shit. They fucking go out in front with the mirror with the reflection.
Italian right here.
They look beautiful. Look at Cap's skin. Look at Cap's skin. Cap, come up close. Look at that beautiful skin.
People, good people. So Steinbrenner, until he won a World Series, everybody hated Steinbrenner. Then he won a couple World Series, and everybody loved Steinbrenner. Dolan could follow that suit. Now keep the Knicks going, do something with the Rangers. Then all of a sudden, Dolan looks like, hey, this guy ain't so bad after all. So you never know.
You're competing against the Crafts of the world. I mean, these guys, they come and go.
I can't.
But I have a little bet for you. All right, so. Right now, I was checking out some of the odds for next year. So the two favorites next year, typical no respect for the Knicks.
No respect.
The Spurs and OKC are at 250. Who do you think's third? Second?
Oh, you mean between those two?
Yeah. No. It's Spurs and OKC.
Oh, they're the same. Who's the next one? Hold on. Let me think.
You know this, Cap.
Hold on. Celtics.
Yeah. So the Celtics come in at plus 550, and the Knicks are third, theoretically fourth, but at plus 700. Yeah. And then the rest of the pack is far behind. I think so. But I got to flip. I never bet the Celtics, but I'm going to give you guys a bet since I've been hot on the bets.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Celtic bet, right? And I think the Celtics are going to get Giannis. And I'm going to flip out of it.
They could.
That's my bet. 100 to win 550. I think it will come into life. You got to figure if the Celtics get Giannis, that comes in. They become one of the favorites at 250. So I'm going to flip the bet because I'll never take the Celtics. I'd rather open up the door and cut my arm off and let it fall to the ground.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown to Milwaukee.
I'm surprised the Celtics are favored ahead of the Knicks, but. Maybe they're factoring in them getting Giannis. Maybe people are hearing stuff. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that odd? It seems odd to me.
Well, listen, if I'm being honest, I don't like the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks can. I mean, I hope they do, and they got a lot of character. But I personally, if I'm a betting man, it's one and done for the Knicks.
Who was the last?
I think the Knicks are going to be really good next.
Yeah, so a lot of people do. I wish. I hope. Listen. I hope to be wrong. I don't think so.
Let me give you guys an opposing opinion, Willie. Let me give you an opposing opinion on that. I thought. So let's go back. I thought the turning point of the playoffs was when they were down 2-1 in Atlanta. It was a must-win because if they fall down 3-1, it's probably over. Now the big change. The big change in that Atlanta series, they decided to run.
Fred, can I read the text from Joe after game 2 against?
Please.
No, I didn't say that one. I should have. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, Fred.
No, what I was going to say, the big change that the Knicks made in that game 4 was they started running the offense through Towns. And then that's when they began the 13-game winning streak. It was all like Towns was pretty much great for almost every game. I mean, he didn't do anything in the final game. He had 2 points in the final game.
Well, he was in foul trouble
So
two of the 4 games.
Yeah. Exactly.
Those 2 fouls game. That game 2, he got 2 fouls in 2 minutes. It was over.
But Towns was actually good in games 1 and 2. I thought my personal opinion was changing game by game. I thought after the first 2 games, if the season had ended, if the series had ended, Towns was the MVP just through 2 games.
I picked Towns to take the MVP. Yeah.
After 4 games, after the OG Tippin game, I mean, not only the Tippin, but he was 7 for 9 from 3, and he had 33 points or something, 30-something points.
Yeah.
So then I thought OG was the leading candidate to get the MVP.
I'm following your logic exactly.
Yeah, and then obviously OG didn't do much. He had an off shooting night, and there was no way you could keep an epic 45-point performance. I mean, I thought the Knicks actually played terrible offensively other than Brunson.
Yes.
Brunson had basically half their points.
They were
45 of 94
from the field on the last game.
Yeah.
As a team.
Yeah.
Brunson.
I mean, the team only shot 36% overall. That's atrocious.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, but
Crazy.
Brunson carried them. But where am I going with this? So getting back to next year.
Brunson.
So Cat's a different player now. He's become unselfish. He's a great passer. If they keep Cat involved next year like they did in that 13-game winning streak, that's number one. OG has become a superstar right before
he's a legit superstar, offensively and defensively.
He's the best two-way player on the team. He has been even before he became a superstar because he plays phenomenal defense.
Yeah.
So there,
he was all NBA 3 years in a row now.
You have a great nucleus of 3, and Bridges had a better year this year, except for that 1 month. Remember he had that really bad month there, and then he turned it around. But I think Bridges, the first year he was just uncomfortable, and because he was the 4th wheel, he was the first wheel with the Nets. It was he wasn't used to being in this position.
Right.
And then Hart, he basically. He's like an Oakley, but he gives you the steals and assists as well. So he's Mr. Lunch Pail, does everything. So this is why it's impossible for the Celtics to be favored ahead of the Knicks next year. The Celtics have 2 guys.
I know.
Obviously, Brown and Tatum. But the thing is, the Knicks have at least 3 superstars, and then you still got Bridges and Hart. So this team, they're still going to get. I think they're going to be better next year. They only won 53 games. I think the Knicks are capable of winning 60 games next year.
Celtics have no bench. The Knicks built up their bench so well.
Their bench is great. A lot of guys can come on.
I mean, even they threw in guys like Huck Porty, and they were throwing guys off. Now, granted, it's not like the things got a little crazy, but they have a deep bench, and any one of those guys, Shamet, Deuce, can get hot and give you 18 points. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, and that's what I think that Celtics don't have a bench like that. Detroit sure as hell does it. They don't even have a starting 5 as good as the Knicks. And then who else? The Pacers. Forget the Pacers. Forget about, listen, Sixers, unless they get somebody big time and keep everybody, but they're getting old, and I don't know. Listen, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, which is crazy to think, like you were saying, Fred, that how would the Celtics ahead of them? You're right, but that's where the money goes.
Yeah, well, maybe, you know what? To the Fred's point, that could be the Giannis. Now that I'm thinking about it, that could be the Giannis trade built in.
Maybe, but they're talking about him going to the Heat.
Yeah, I see. So, but the betting line kind of tells you who's the favorite, right? So that could be. But you know,
They'd probably have to include Jaylen Brown to make that deal work.
It's interesting about the Knicks bench, right? You know, we talk about this great bench. Again, the bench, it's the way they played. I mean, this guy Shamit. Sometimes I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And because of the leadership of the Knicks, that's why their bench is good. Do they have a lot of talent coming off the bench? Not really. You know, you got Robinson's. You know, I mean, you get the most. Think about that guy. The guy shoots line drives, free throws. He can't shoot. And but he comes off the bench and he gives them those quality minutes. He's rebounding. He's beating up on Wemby. So their bench is deep, but it's again, I think it all goes back to how they play as a team. But I hope you guys are right. You know, I do. I really would love. It'd be epic to see the Knicks do it 2 years in a row. That's for sure.
Yeah, health is always an issue.
Can I add one more thing about the bench? You know, it's you saw it was about 10 deep at certain points in the playoff.
Yeah,
because you know one game it'd be Alvarado, one game it'd be Shamet. Deuce had some good rounds earlier before the finals. Mitch, you already spoke.
He had one game. Like you said, he shot the lights out of it.
Yeah. There's a guy on the bench that didn't even play in the finals. Tyler Kolek, basically, do you remember the Christmas Day game?
Yeah.
The Knicks were down 17 to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the fourth quarter. Kolek went nuts. He hit 4 3-pointers. Kolek, the crowd was screaming, Tyler Kolek.
Yes.
I mean, Kolek, I'm telling you, he's going to be even better next year. Deuce McBride didn't become good until his third year. Next year is Kolek's third year. I'll give you a little stat about Kolek. He's the highest paid second-round draft pick. He's making $2 million a year because the Knicks. A lot of people thought he would be a first-round pick, and the Knicks didn't want to lose him. But I think if Alvarado leaves because he's got the player option, I'm not even going to be bummed out about it because I think Kolek would be fine as a backup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. I mean,
and Kolek was a stud. I mean, Kolek was good. He played in the Big East, right? It wasn't he a Marquette guy? Like he played at Marquette.
Yeah. Player of the year his junior year. Yeah, he was phenomenal with Marquette.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good pedigree.
These guys are going to get offers. Shamet's going to get. I think Shamet's unrestricted free agent. He's going to get offers. You know, these guys are going to get offers. It's what they want to do, what's best for them. And listen, it's like anything, you know. These guys, just like Hartenstein, you know, we lost Hartenstein. He got offered from OKC. That kind of sucked. But guess what? He went where the money was, and he won a championship with OKC. This is going to happen. Now, health is the number one issue. The starting five ain't going anywhere right now. After that, even I think Robinson might be even a free agent. Fred, if I'm not mistaken, is he? Is this his?
Mitch is a free agent.
Yeah. So you got guys that who knows, some other team offers them a ton of money, and it's hard for them to turn it down. So we shall see the different complexion of the Knicks as the summer goes on.
Yeah.
All right. So what are our final thoughts, guys? Who wants to go first? What are your final thoughts? Because this is an all Knicks episode. What's your final thoughts? Who wants to go?
I say we hear it from the Fred first.
Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, the final thoughts. Well, I think first thing is just enjoy the parade Thursday. I'll be there in person, so that's going to be a zoo.
Fred.
It's going to be there'll be a couple million people there. They say it may be the biggest event ever in Manhattan. So that'll be interesting.
Bigger than the Nelson Mandela parade. I was at that.
Okay, that could be. Now, so the draft is right around.
I went to that parade, the Nelson Mandela, because I worked on Broadway.
So then we can address the draft. The draft's coming up at the end of June, so it's only less than 2 weeks away, basically.
Right.
And so Knicks actually have a first round pick this year, which is kind of nice. And so hopefully, maybe you can get like an athletic wing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that could back up OG. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody that could develop to be the 7th or 8th man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody athletic.
What's the pick? What number pick is it? Is it?
It's I think it's 24. I believe it's 24.
So it's not 30.
You can get a decent player.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
they found Diawara at like 36. So I think he may develop next year too.
Yeah, he's another one. Diawara's another guy.
We were talking. He's in that Tyler Kohler category where he could be a good bench piece next year, even though he didn't get to play in the finals. So then you get to June free agency. The Knicks have a few decisions to make. I want Shamet back. I'm a big Landry Shamet fan because he plays great defense. So he's the perfect 3-and-D guy. He plays great D and he can hit the three. So I want Shamet back. They have to decide if they want to extend Deuce because this is the final year on Deuce's contract. I like Deuce. If you forget about the finals, Deuce had a good postseason. He just kind of, stunk up the joint in the finals. And then Diawara is an unrestricted free agent. I would like to sign him. I'd like to keep him. I see a lot of potential with him. He's one of these tall, athletic kids. You know what I'm saying?
You hit a three.
So backup center, I don't want to overpay Mitch because Mitch pisses me off with his free throw shooting, and he's got no offensive game whatsoever unless it's an alley-oop. So I don't want to overpay for if you can get him back cheap, or just go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? Like Hartenstein has a player option. Wouldn't it be funny if Hartenstein opted out? You know what I'm saying? The Knicks could actually, talk to him and see if he'd be interested. The thing is, he'd want a lot more money than the Knicks probably had to offer because he'd be the backup for them. Yeah. I'm sure Hartenstein's looking to, for a starter role. See, that's the problem you'd have there. But so they got options. But yes, I'm looking forward to next year. I'm kind of glad we finally got this one championship that I've waited 53 years for. So it's a weird feeling not having the Knicks to be all bummed out about you. It's just a strange feeling. I've never had this feeling before. Yeah, I got my Knicks.
Oh, baby. Well, listen, Willie, what are your final thoughts?
All right, so it was just an unbelievable series. I don't think you'll ever see something quite like that again. On so many levels. I think Adam Silver is the freakiest looking guy I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
That guy is a freak. He talk about an alien. That's a real alien. That guy's like. Dude, that guy, they got him as soon as he spoke, they put him in the back. He was scaring kids kids were watching the presentation. They were hiding under their bed. But other than that, again, I enjoyed Cap. I think I enjoyed your text the most besides the series. And listen, I just hope that this maybe breathes some light into the Jets. And again, it was great to have you, Fred, and it was a phenomenal series.
Yes, thanks, Fred.
It got me to like the Knicks again. Watching the Knicks. Eric will tell you he's like very disappointed because I just sort of faded out. But I'm on the bandwagon again.
That's it, Mo. We're all hooked now. We're all
if the games starts at 6, I'll be all in.
Yeah.
Well, off season will be interesting. Like Fred was saying, who's going to stay, who's going to go.
Yeah, they got 2 picks, right? 24th and 55th.
There we go.
Yeah,
the core 5. We build around them. That reminds me of like with the Yankees in the 90s teams. They had the core 4, the core 5, even with Bernie Williams. Same type of thing. Build around those guys. Keep those guys going. You're going to lose some guys, but you got to pick some guys up. Whatever, shit's going to happen. You're not going to have the exact same team you will do next year. Keep as much as it possible, if you can, but it's not going to be possible.
Dude, people want to come to New York.
Yes, now they do. Now they do. That's a good point. Where it used to be no.
Yeah, now they do. Now they do. Everything changed.
Yeah, everything changed.
Yeah, and New York is, the center of the universe, and they showed it. They showed it in that series. It was just incredible. Incredible.
It was some year. This was obviously one of the most exciting years of my life. That I mean, of a Knicks being a Knicks fan, and obviously it culminated into a beautiful ending where I was not really thinking it could have been. I tell you, during the season, I'm worried about getting by Detroit. I'm worried about getting out of the Eastern Conference. I mean, I was like, Detroit's killing them. But now,
I was afraid of that matchup I was afraid of Detroit, but everybody was because Detroit bullied them near the, near the end.
three blowouts. It was terrible. All three games.
Terrible.
And the thing about the blowouts was the Knicks went in on a little bit of a roll and got rocked one time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like Jesus, no. But yeah. But hey, one other shout out. How about your Hurricanes?
The Hurricanes. They look.
There you go.
Listen. Brendan Moore is a great coach. I don't know. Here's another question for Mo. You're gonna have to find out. How many guys played and won a Stanley Cup with a team and coached them to Stanley Cup? Rob Brendan Moore is the one for the Hurricanes, so he's going to be like enshrined in Hurricane lore forever.
In Hurricane lore.
Hurricane
Carolina lore.
The long list of Hurricane hockey lore. We'll see what happens with the Rangers next year. But listen, we got baseball. We'll talk about baseball this summer. And we'll hopefully get maybe Mets are starting to look like they do have a pulse. So we don't have to you don't have to kill them anymore. And the Yankees, we'll see what happens. There's life without Aaron Judge right now, and it looks like they're hanging in there. So let's see how it goes with the pitching coming back. But anyway, Fred, I want to thank you for joining us today. It was great having you. You had a lot of insights. And by the way,
dude knows his shit.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Make sure he gets some hydrofining.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
You got it. We'll be talking to you in the future because you got the insights of the Knicks. You had a lot of good input, and you have a lot of insights, and we will be talking to you for sure about the Knicks and whatever else comes up. But I want to thank you again, and thanks to Hydrofy for this episode. For Hydrofy, let me read it one more time. Hydrofy.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. I gotta have a sip. I put it in myself.
Have a sip of Hydrofy, the world's hydrogen-infused electrolyte, which helps the body combat inflammation and support cellular health through people of all ages in a way traditional electrolyte drinks do not. Beyond hydration, Hydrofy is designed to support sustained energy, enhance performance, faster recovery, and overall daily wellness. Benefits we believe are a great fit for people of all ages and in our network.
Benefits we can't tell you about.
Use OTC 15 and get 50% off your first purchase of Hydrofy. And thanks to the people over at the Jordan Sports Group as well.
Moses, as always, the voice of region.
Absolutely. We'll see you over the summer. I don't know when and where, but we'll talk about some stuff. And then before you know it, we got football right around the corner. All right, guys.
Giants are going to be good this year, too.
Knicks.